First and foremost, why is this something that is worthy of our attention? It is so because this is the largest killing of civilians since the Mumbai terror attacks. In 2019, you might recall, there was a similar terror outrage that targeted, not that that makes it any better, but it was a targeted attack on a paramilitary convoy. In this case, people were pulled out, identified on the basis of their identity, their religious identity, and shot dead. These were civilians in the largest majority, and all were there just to have a holiday. The purpose of this exercise in bestiality was purely to create terror and to undermine the ongoing normalisation of circumstances in Jammu and Kashmir. The purpose of this exercise was to prevent the people of Jammu and Kashmir from carrying out normal day-to-day businesses, to prevent them from improving their lives through business, through work, to intimidate people from coming to this beautiful part of India, and to undermine the normalisation of the political process that had been brought into play through the very successful conduct of an election not so long ago. I can tell you this. You have seen for the last several decades the repeated efforts to intimidate, otherwise distract India in its development journey, or to try and break the spirit of India and to break the unity of the people of India across language, caste, creed and religion. I can tell you this, it hasn't worked before, it won't work now, it will never work. There are 1.4 billion of us. We're a nation moving forward, we're a nation moving together, we're a nation dealing with our challenges, some left over by history, some left over by acts of our own, but none that will be deterred, no part of our journey that will be deterred by people who believe that killing people is a solution. I ask you to remember, however, that these were lives of ordinary people. I ask you to remember that these were lives of people like you and I, who seek to spend time with family, to seek to have what everybody believes is their right, the opportunity to travel, the opportunity to broaden the mind, the opportunity to spend a few precious moments together in this short journey that we call life. And it was these people from whom that very, very simple, basic opportunity to live was taken away from them. Look, for instance, at the picture of that young lady there. That young lady and her husband were newly married. They were there on their honeymoon. That young child's life has been ruined for no particular purpose. It won't change the trajectory of history. It won't change the arc of destiny. That one, we are winning that one. It is not going to make a difference. Those who believe that they can organize and send people like that, like this across the line of control to create terror, that mission is always going to fail. All it does is blight the lives of a few people. And so I ask you to remember in everything that you do that we have no place in our hearts for hatred. We have no place in our minds for enmity. Every one of us is an Indian, no matter what language we speak, where we come from, how we pray. This is our country, and it is not for others to dictate how we will respond. What I can tell you is this, what our Prime Minister said recently: we will never forget, we will never forgive, and we will exact a punishment for this. There will be we should be clear in our minds, there will be by the people who committed this act, by the people who planned it, and by the people who back it. And there will be nothing in the world that will stop us from doing that, and there will be nothing in the world that will deter us from that mission, no matter where they are, how far away, or how they are. I leave you with that thought. I ask you to join me in a minute's silence, and at the end of the event, please, before we stand for that, at the end of the event, I will ask a colleague to ask you to recite to you what we in India have as the Shanti Mantra, which is a prayer for peace. But each of you, regardless of your faith, please feel free to make the same prayer in whichever prayer of your faith that approximates to it. So please, ladies and gentlemen and excellencies, a minute's silence.